Quest presents an unabridged recording of A Letter to the Last House Before the Sea by Liz Eeles, narrated by Francesca Waite. Prologue. Iris Starcross was finding it hard to breathe, but wasn't particularly surprised. It was time, she supposed. She'd had her 70 years and 10, plus another 29 years on top. That was greedy, really, when some people had so few. Slowly, she moved her fingers and felt the pressure of another hand gently tighten around hers. Lettie had been sitting next to her bed for hours, or maybe it was days. Iris was losing track of time, as all the joys and sorrows of her life played out like a movie reel in her mind, and condensed to this moment. She rather hoped that dying wouldn't hurt, and Cornelius would be waiting for her. The vicar had assured her that he would be, but Iris had given up on God after what happened all those years ago, so she couldn't be sure of it. She drew in another shallow, rattling breath and felt the delicate gold key on her chain around her neck slide across her collarbone. Gradually, painfully, she moved her free arm until her fingers found the metal of the key, its smoothness and familiarity a comfort. If only she'd been able back then, in the midst of her grief, to uncover its secret. But it was far too late now for if-onlys. "Keep this safe," she croaked, her voice little more than a whisper. "And find out for me, darling girl." When she was gone, the key would go to Lettie, the only person in the family who was like her. Iris sent up a fervent prayer to the God who might or might not be there, that her beloved great niece would choose a life filled with lasting love and happiness. Darkness was creeping at the edges of Iris's vision, and she closed her eyes, worn out with it all. She was aware of Lettie's voice, gently calling to her, but her thoughts were focused on a handsome young man in army uniform. The life she could have had. Iris Starcross took her last breath and slipped away. Chapter 1. 5 weeks later, Lettie. Lettie stepped out of the taxi and sucked in a deep breath of warm sea air. It was fresher than the mash of exhaust fumes and sweaty humanity she was used to, and the view before her was a world away from her tiny balcony in London. That overlooked an ugly brick warehouse and a cemetery filled with blackened gravestones. Whereas here...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?